How are you?
It's four-leaf clover. Make a wish. Wish you weren't so awkward, bud.
No ego on that side of Hollywood, is there?
Because maybe they're just as good and we're wasting time.
Why can't you just admit it's over?
Some people are in it just for the art.
It's too complicated. It's like algebra. Why you gotta put numbers and letters together? Why can't you just go yourself?
Hey now! Not everyone's gonna enjoy this show. Settle in.
Yay! What up, John?
Woo! Hey.
Hell yeah, man. Welcome to Scrub Hop Talk. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, quick question.
6 inches.
First of all, thanks for airing that commercial. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for that shit.
Hell yeah, man.
That shit slaps, dog. I just had that shit. You know, I'm not overhyping it. It might sound crazy. I had that shit twice today. My lunch was wings with that sauce, and my dinner was wings with that sauce. The only thing different about dinner was I had ranch with it as well.
Nothing wrong with that. I got mad respect for anybody that is peddling a hot sauce, my friend. So I will definitely be a purveyor of that. That sounds delightful.
Well, let me throw a little promo. Your boy JDirty's already got one.
There he goes.
There we go. That'll give me that mud butt from Taco Bell we were talking about earlier. So I keep mine sealed on the old collectible shelf. But go pick that up.
You haven't even tried it yet? You should have ordered two. What's wrong with you? The shit's delicious.
Oh man, I looked at the word habanero. I'm like, yeah, nah, not for me anymore. That'll rip me apart.
Man, Clay,
I got that gringo belly.
JDirty cannot eat anything spicy. I've known this for 20 years, never known him to eat a single spicy item.
If you put out some bottled water, I'll get two and I'll save one.
Want me to dilute some down for you?
Exactly. Just the citrus. That's all I need. Not the habanero. Just like some citrus sauce on some chicken. Hell yeah, man. So
yeah,
that going dope?
Some real shit. If you took the habanero away, it would still be a fucking delicious sauce. Like, for real.
Hell yeah, man. And then people can get that at the website then, that 211 merch?
Yeah, 211merch.com. The
Fuck yeah.
moving. I just did count today of how many we actually sold. I'm not gonna say the number, but I was fucking pretty amazed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like,
that's what's up, man.
Like, I was mad impressed. I was like, wow, like, because I've never, you know, aside from like making it at home bullshit like that, like, you know, homemade style, like my grandma and my uncles do that shit. Like, I fucking never really got into the sauce game like this. I didn't know what to expect, you know. And then when I actually, from the recipe that I came up with, you know what I'm saying, like, actually get a good response for it and sell a shitload of them. Like
hell yeah.
I'm fucking mad geeked over that. Like,
how did it come about? How did you hook up with them?
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I couldn't believe it, you know.
How did you hook up with them? You took your sauce to a company, or a company hit you up? Like,
this shit's been like a year in the making, dude. Like, you know, if it wasn't for COVID, it would have came out sooner. It would have probably came out at the beginning of 2020 versus towards the end, you know. But yeah, me and Kyle, his name, the dude that owns the company is named Kyle. He owns Hella Hot Sauce. And,
yeah, that's what it's called, Hella Hot Sauce.
Yeah. He's done a couple other celebrity lines, like with the you ever heard of that hardcore band Exhumed?
No.
He's done one with them. Yeah, me neither. And so
I'm not gonna front. No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front that. I haven't either.
But that's what's dope. So they hook up with musicians.
Does anybody in the room here watch the Eric Andre show?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They were on that show. They were on like fucking season 3. It was fun because I was late to the Eric Andre show. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, everybody was like, what do you mean?
We all were.
Like, what do you mean you haven't seen it? You gotta watch it. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I've never realized how much of a fucking beast he is. He's a monster. That dude's insane. I fucking love him. You know what I'm saying?
Unfiltered.
Hell yeah.
So,
real.
Yeah, no, oh my God, it's so hard to be how he does. Like, I don't know. But I don't know, though. You know, I mean, money talks. So it's like, if Adult Swim approached any one of you guys, like, hey, you got endless money to do whatever the fuck you want right now, to do the craziest shit.
Where do I sign?
We're probably all gonna be out there doing some wild shit.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna destroy my set on every episode.
And be naked in public.
It's crazy that you know how he brings like bands at the end of his show, like all weird stuff. This band Exhumed was one of them, you know. And I was like, hey, they got a hot sauce out by the same company that does mine.
Well, there you go. I thought you were gonna say that's how you found it, but That's super dope, man.
But yeah, and they also what's her name? Sugar T, E40 sister.
Oh shit!
They do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's called Sprinkle Me. Yo,
it should be.
That shit is hella delicious as well. Like,
is it $4,000 a bottle?
Right. It's got gold in it for real.
I believe you. We hit her up for a feature like way early in the JDirty thing, and she said, "Sure, I'll do it. It'll be between what $5,000 and $40,000." And I was like, "That's the weirdest gap for one."
That's a huge gap.
And I thought the early part of the gap was a little excessive, and I was like,
"You got to clarify." This was like the early JDirty, but late Sugar T. You know what I mean? Like Sugar T had been around for a long time at that point.
Right. So I mean, she was around forever when I was in high school.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
She was already a legend when I was in high school. It's like,
yeah.
I just cracked up, but yeah, the fact that you said Sugar T, we had to like delve off for a quick moment because I wish.
One thing I can say, I've never had any experience with her, but her sauce is actually fucking delicious. Like, it ain't got the fire that mine has. Like as far as the hot.
Well, no, actually try it.
Good. You can throw that shit on everything. So
yeah,
it's one of the more impressive ones from this company, you know. But you know, me and this dude Kyle, we met at the freak show that they did in Vegas around Juggalo Day when we did out there.
Nice.
And we met, you know, and we kicked it, and he gave us some sauces, like a whole pack of his sauces, all the different ones and shit. And by the time we made it home, somebody stole all the sauces. I don't know, somebody from the crew stole all the sauces. We didn't get to try them all, whatever. But me and that dude kept contact, and you know, I started telling him these ideas, and he was like, "Holy shit, this sauce that you're talking about sounds awesome," you know, like. So it's like kind of been history since then, and we really made it happen. And I didn't know how much went into it. Like, you know, the company's based out of California. Like, they have to have somebody come and watch him bottle up the first legit batch. Like, they pH test it. They got to. I mean,
that's good. Make sure it's all like edible and not going to murder people.
Yeah, you're definitely. Yeah, it's all fully regulated and tested like to the fullest. Like there's so much paperwork involved in this shit. Like this ain't no like gimmick sauce. Like this shit can be put in Kroger.
I mean, you're in the form of a pepper. I wouldn't say it's not a gimmick sauce, but it's still dope.
Right. I mean, you know,
we're being super fair, but it's still dope as fuck.
But it's just not one of those ones that are just like, it tastes shitty, but
it's
cool because his face is on it, you know?
The Joe Rogan deodorant.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome that they turned me into a pepper as well. That was pretty fun.
Hell yeah, man. Well, yeah, pick that shit up at the website for sure.
I need to get some shirts made with that pepper.
For real.
I looked at it and said, "Oh, that's going to be a hat pin." I see that shit selling in that form. You know what I mean?
You're right on the money.
It's dope and tiny enough, but it looks dope.
That'll be on the chicken's beak by the end of the week.
As we speak.
Fucking A, man. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we like to delve into your kind of whole, not just Juggalo connection, but just your whole music, your come up to coming through the hatchet to what you're doing now. I mean, before Hot Sauce, when you're on the mic with your whole new label, rocking all that shit, the AR, armed robbery in the house. So, yeah, man, kind of start at the beginning, if you would. Kind of curious on the whole DJ Clay story.
Well, a lot of people know the beginning, so I can shorten that up, you know.
Yeah, like, it can be brief, but from your mouth.
The beginning, you know what I'm saying? Sign, you know, the beginning starts when I was just, I mean, I've been doing this shit since I was so young. It's crazy. I was fucking 13 when I got my first pair of turntables. I was 11 years old when I made my first mixtape. Before I even had turntables, I did it off just dual cassette tape player, like an old Kenwood, you know.
Hell yeah.
And shout out to that Kenwood dual cassette deck because it was the only one that I knew of that. Not that I even knew of, but I just happened to have it. It was given to me, you know.
But you could play and record type of thing?
Well, no, they all did that. But this one, when you did your stop and pause at the same time, you know, and stop the record at the same time, and then you cue up the next track, and you hold it and release it to do it again, you know, to let it make sense.
Yeah,
that one did it. This one did it seamlessly. Like you didn't hear the pop from the stop and pause, you know, like you didn't hear the pop on this one. So people
that became the one to use. Hell yeah.
people legit thought I had some sort of fucking 8-track recorder or fucking turntables, and I didn't. I was only 11 years old, just playing.
You just had a little glitchy thing that happened to be an awesome glitch.
Right, it happened to be fucking I guess it was more high end Kenwood, I guess, you know.
Fuck yeah.
My uncles used to sell dope. They gave it to me. So it was
Dope game Kenwood, y'all. Dope game Kenwood.
Right. Yeah, that's straight. Yeah, that Kenwood came straight from the dope game.
Hell yeah. The
You know how many 8 balls we sold to get that Kenwood?
A little bit less than you paid to get those speakers behind you. No, I'm just kidding. Hell yeah, man. So yeah, you were 13, you started DJing.
Yeah, you know, and then by the time I was like 16, 17, you know, my partner who, you know, me and him he's CEO of Armed Robbery Entertainment, you know, Jose is Big Chief, you know, he through marriage is, you know, related to the Rude Boy. So,
okay.
You know, when I was early, I got booked at this backyard party. I was like 16 years old. And then sure enough, it happened to be like somebody from the Rude Boy's family, you know, which was really my you know, my partner's Jose. It was his aunt's birthday party, you know,
yeah,
in her backyard. And that's the day me and him met, you know, and that's
the day you and Rude Boy met?
The day me and Rude Boy met, and the day me and Jose met.
Nice.
Know? Like, we met the same day, like, because he was just like, you know, he's like, hey, you know Jose, right? You guys go to the same school? Holler at him. I got you on Halloween tickets this year. I'm like,
nice.
Yeah. We were both just like, we know each other. Sure. We didn't know each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I've seen him before, but I'll go to a concert for free.
Sure, that's my boy.
Yeah, so, but we ended up having Votech together. So we, it didn't matter what school you went to. If you had Votech, you'd go to the same Votech building. It was outside the school.
Oh, you mean you actually had the same class together?
We did outside, but we went to different high schools. You know?
Oh, okay, I follow. That's funny.
We had body together, so we would always build like fucking lowrider fucking models and shit. And, you know, we also learned how to, you know, I can also bondo the fuck out of your car if you need it, because
early skills.
I actually paid attention to that shit in fucking high school. It's one of the only things. I was like, hey, I'm gonna have a car soon. I'm probably gonna need to know how to fix this bitch.
I'm gonna fuck it up. I need to learn how to fix it.
I'm definitely gonna crash it.
Exactly. That's what's up, man.
You know, so yeah, so we had those classes together and shit, and then it's history from there on. From as far as me and Jose, you know, like it wasn't there far after, like you know, AR was created and born. Like it's been going on forever since before I was signed to the Hatchet.
Oh, okay.
And everybody was aware of that on the record label. Like the Hatchet knew about my label. Everybody that, you know, what I was doing and everything. But, you know, and then I was like 16 or 17, got called to do some gigs for Psychopathic. You know, like, you know, to me, it's like I never, you know, I was always the juggalo the whole time though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people to get that shit twisted. Like I was I was an old school. I'm an old school juggalo from, you know, since the first time I heard fucking Riddlebox was the first cassette tape I had in my hands, you know. So I'm a Riddlebox juggalo, you know. So it's like, you know, like I remember waiting for Malenko to drop and shit like that. Like, you know, it was crazy. So, you know, and what's crazy is I never sent in any type of demo. It
all came from being seen at that party, more or less. Connection.
That party, and then just I was out there just going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like all through Southwest, I was just doing DJ and everything that I could DJ, you know. So
sure.
I was DJing fucking everything except for fucking weddings and fucking quinceañeras. I did one of each. I've done one wedding in my life and one fucking quinceañera in my life, and I've vowed never to do them again since, because they're so fucking proper and so stale. Like,
right?
Like I don't do proper. You know, I don't do censorship. I don't do censorship. And then
I've seen you live multiple times. I can attest to that.
Right.
I think that's why we got you here.
So, you know, yeah. So it's like I found that out after the first time when I was like 17-ish or something like that. After the first time I did a wedding, I found out like, yeah, this is something I'll never do again. And same with quinceañeras. You know what I'm saying? It's just too popular. You got to have censored music. I didn't even own censored music. I was like, where do you find this at? Like, what?
You don't want Lil' Kim at the quinceañera? I mean, it's a pretty good track, you know.
Right. You want me playing fucking Uncle Luke at the fucking
exactly.
Hell yeah, at that time when I was 17, you know, and 16, fucking all the girls were about the same age, so I wanted to see them, shake that ass, bitches, let me see what you got. So it's like,
And her 4 aunts who's paid for the party, you're like, hey, buddy, no. This is not happening.
Yeah, it's just her fucking cartel-looking uncle looking at me with his fucking son, like, shaking his head, like.
Right? You need help carrying that stuff to your car after this, son?
I'm just like, man, you know what? You guys get a discount tonight.
If you don't murder me, you don't have to pay me. But hell yeah, so move from that, and then Rude Boy saw you and invited you to kind of come start fucking with Big Ballers, right?
Yeah. So like Jose was the direct plug basically. So he every time that like he was like, yo, I got I'm out of Southwest. Rude Boy's out of Southwest. He had mad love. He's got mad Southwest love. He's tied in the Southwest, real tough on a lot of shit, And so he's seen something in me, what I'm saying, that only I seen in me at the time, and only Jose seen in me at the time. Those, So when they needed a DJ for shit like Big Ballers Christmases, shit like that, at Psychopathic, I would be the go-to guy. I never even though I DJ'd Big Ballers, my first one, like I said, I was like 16, 17, something like that. It was in the shelter. I didn't even know those guys personally until I was 22 years old. Like I got the phone call, like, hey, want to come on be Shaggy's DJ for fuck off tour? And I was like, yeah, sure. I thought that was gonna be like one gig. It ended up turning into a fucking lifetime and a lifestyle.
You're saying that you thought Ballers was gonna be one gig, and then they just kind of kept going to you, brought you on the road.
Well, I thought that fuck off was gonna be
like a solo show.
I didn't expect to be ICP's DJ after that.
I got you.
It wasn't until a little bit after that they invited me to DJ Hollow Wicked, and then we made the Tempest record, and then so we gained a relationship, like a real relationship, all of us.
Yeah, in studio relationship, working
right. And then I went on the Tempest tour, and then it was kind of like that's what sealed it in was after that tour, like right there. Like
I'm curious. I remember that era. We were all at those shows watching all the shit.
Very well, yeah.
And I remember there being in the crowd the feel of like, who's this? Mikey Clark's not up there. Where's the crazy guy? You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious. How was that kind of like? Did you get what we were hearing? You had to have heard it to some extent. Like,
100%.
I'm curious how that kind of thing.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your opinion on that, if you will.
Yeah, because like I said, I was a juggler at the same time. So if I was in the crowd, I would have felt the same way. So that,
and I figured that you'd say that.
I felt that energy at the same time, but I knew I was like that it don't matter. It was crazy because like the beginning of my career with Psychopathic, I remember like looking on MySpace and people would be like talking shit like, he's such an asshole. I'm like,
I told you though, I apologize for that post. Like it was a long time ago.
That was you son of a bitch. Goddamn, I knew it was you.
I tried to come clean then. I have to say no. No, go on. My bad.
No, it's okay. I veered off. I was trying to get something to drink here. Thanks, dude. About to fall asleep. No, I'm sitting here with Bakelo right now. He's about to fall asleep.
Oh hell yeah, man! And we'll get to that too with the whole AR talk here in a bit as well. But that whole kind of DJ Clay replacing Mikey Clark, what the fuck thing?
I didn't get that. Because I never even heard. Actually, this is kind of like the first time I heard that. Replacing Mikey Clark, that's crazy.
I replace was probably something I just said in jest, but like just the new guy, he's not up there now. We got Clay, like nothing horrible. But
well,
you know what I mean.
Nobody was up there with Shaggy and Jay prior to me. Like they never had a DJ prior to me, aside from that one dude that they fired like 2 weeks later after the
Jekyll Brothers DJ guy.
He did Woodstock with him.
Yeah. I don't remember his name anymore.
I don't remember his name. I don't remember dude's name, but I know that they told me it was a very short story. They were like, yeah, he was here for like 3 weeks and we fired him. I was like, okay. So they never really had a DJ,
Right.
You know who I think they told me a story before. I don't think I ever told anybody this, but a DJ inquired to be their DJ. And you know who the fuck it was? It was fucking DJ Swamp. If anybody knows who that is, you know what I'm saying? Like he was Beck's DJ.
I don't. I bet Trox does.
He was Beck's DJ. But before he
Oh,
was
shit.
DJ, he was DJ Swamp. Like I was buying his records, like his breakbeat records and his battle records and shit. Like DJ Swamp's the shit, you know.
And he came to them looking to sign up, and they said, "Now we're gonna go a different direction."
Yeah. They said, "Fuck you." You know what I'm
So
saying?
you work with Beck? That's weird. No, we're good.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. But it was this story they told me. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they chose me over him.
Sure.
But he just inquired once upon a time, and they were like, "Nah, we're straight." You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think the thing that blew me away, the most, the first time that I saw you live, because seeing you live the first time, I had probably already seen the Clowns like 24 times by that point. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing it since like '98, and so by the time I saw you, I was like, "Holy shit, they got a DJ on stage!" First thought that goes through my mind is, how the fuck does that guy keep the Fago away from his turntables?
That was a big question for sure back in the day.
Yeah, I had to find that out and make that myself. That I ended up getting, just measuring out the case and doing some
plexiglass case.
Drawing out, yeah, it was me and Billy Bill. We drew out some blueprints. Can't afford for these turntables to get ruined every night.
Yeah, no shit.
But,
Even with that though, there's no way that shit stayed dry all the time.
It actually did a
90%.
Did a very good job. Now here's the thing: I've seen people try to talk shit like, "Oh, like he sounds cool on those CDJs." Like, fuck out of here! I'll fuck you up on some wax.
No, I can.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. Like,
not hating skill. I just can't believe they stay dry, even with that.
No. I'm saying I've caught slack from people saying shit like that. Like, you don't fuck with real turntables. Yes, I do. Here in my studio, here in fucking, everywhere. That Fago is not. That's where I fuck with them. Because guess what? It costs a lot more. Them CDJs can take a way harder hit than a fucking, Technique
legit turntable, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you never see me with those ever at any show. That Fago could be possible, So it's like, they would last a long time. We'd go through, we could make it through a whole tour. We could make it through a whole tour with one set. But
I'm shocked to hear that.
Sometimes
yeah,
by
me
the
too.
time you got home though, say it's like a 2.5, 3 month tour, you might go through 2 sets. And that set that you bring home is still fucked up to where it's like, all right, if you want it to be back normal, you got to, I learned how to, just because of that shit, I learned how to take those motherfuckers apart and repair them so fucking crazy, like take them apart, clean every fucking inch of them with Q-tips and alcohol and shit like that.
I mean, you got to, man, or else you're constantly replacing, learn how to fix it and get more life. I like it.
Right, yeah.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, so they did, but the only time they would take a real beating is if somebody forgot the fucking plexiglass.
And how often did that happen? Who's that fuck up?
I don't exactly know whose fuck up that was. I know it wasn't mine. I wasn't responsible for setting them. I would always try to set up my own shit always, but it'd be like the dudes out working for us, the crew, they'd be like, "No, we got this shit. Like, go ahead, man, go chill. We got you. I'm like, "You sure?" They're like, "We got you." I'm like, "All right, bet." So, but then there would become that night. It was very rare, maybe only like 2-3 times.
Tell us that first time you walked out, Fago's already going, you're like, "Oh, fuck me. There's no plexiglass." Like, where was your mind? I'm out.
I was just like, fuck it. Here we go. We're going all out. I'm throwing these bitches in this crowd tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you had to. Yeah, you had to.
Because, fuck, somebody's going home with a souvenir. It's nothing but a paperweight now. It's fucked up.
That's what I was thinking. Like, man, it's just like I submit. It's over.
Yeah. One time, check it out, and shout out Pioneer needs to give me a fucking sponsorship for this shit because I've said it a couple times. Shout out to Pioneer because we did a show. Fuck, man, I'm trying to remember where it was. What it was? It was a big show. It was a gathering. That's what it was. My bad. Of course, it was a show.
One of those big shows.
I'm just trying to remember which gathering it was, but I can't. It was around the time Bang Pow Boom came out, and somebody had not. It's like for some reason, like we would have 3 of them, like 3 sets of these plexiglasses on deck just in case one broke.
Backups,
we had backups. So somehow they weren't nowhere to be found. None of them. So
for a gathering,
yeah.
Fuck.
So the show went on without it. By the end of the show, the entire coffin that they sit in, the whole DJ case, you know, was filled up with Faygo. as far as it could fill up,
I bet.
without pouring out the holes like for the wires, because they got holes like bored into the back of the case, you know, for the wires to come out. So it filled up that much. And I for sure thought they were done, you know, and they made it back to Psychopathic headquarters, and guess what? They fucking worked just fine after that.
Damn.
It was
That's
amazing.
insane.
Like they built a good product. Like, yeah, I should probably send them that.
Shout out Pioneer.
Yeah, I should send that story. Like, hey, send me some free turntables and shit and some money.
Buy some hot sauce, motherfucker.
I'll tell this story to everybody.
That's insane, bro. Like 3 of the 4 of the hosts on the show have been in a Faygo Armageddon at the gathering. So we know the amount of Faygo that gets flown all over that stage. And
yeah.
That's
and
insane.
the fact that anything works after that.
Yeah. That's I always think that like
still work.
Watch it. Yeah, like how many microphones do they go through? Like how many speakers get just destroyed? It's got to be immense.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, right.
The diet has a lot to help with it.
Yeah, that sugar-free shit.
Yeah, when you use the real shit that has sugar, that's when everything it touches gets fucked up. No doubt. You know, like no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's no Q-tip intricate enough to fucking fix
nobody wants
orange or red pop.
Fix all those lights or those speakers or anything, you know. But the diet having no sugar, that helps, you know. And diet happens. It seems like it flies a little farther and you shoot off your finger. I don't know that.
Well, that's pretty. I never heard that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that for a fact, like I said, but it seems that way to me, you know.
So speaking of,
that might be right. The sugar's a lot heavier.
Oh, there you go. There's a technicalities, so.
Bill Nye the Science Chicken. No, man, I had a weird memory of you at a gathering. Were you up on a platform DJing at one point, like way up high in the sky?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, why do I have some weird thought? Did that have something to do with we don't have plexiglass? You're going the fuck up, or like what happened there?
That wasn't during like an ICP set. I was still on stage for that set.
I can't remember what was it.
That was like for like one night. You know how we had like the 4 nights going on. You know, so that was like for one night I was the guest DJ, introducing everybody, bringing them out, and they had like a designated DJ area. And it was like fucking, 2000.
Like on top of the stage or something, right?
Fucking so high. I'm scared of heights and I got anxiety. I'm like, you guys must be crazy. Think I'm DJing up there, and like it's time to go. The gear's already up there. So I'm like, all right. So I ate like fucking 3 Xanax and went up there and did my damn thing.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I thought I remembered that. I saw you like way the fuck up for some weird reason.
Yeah, it was crazy as there was some ninjas shooting fucking
Roman candles.
No,
dicks.
Water balloons.
Oh, that's better.
With one of them big ass fucking things.
Yeah.
I was like right here, like come on. They shot it so perfect. Like usually, people will continue, fucking with you after that, But they shot
took such a hit.
Shout out to them because they shot it so perfect, and I was just like. So perfect, right in my hand, one hand up there, caught it, and it's like they were just as impressed as I was.
It didn't pop, you caught it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dang, chill. I was like, yeah, because that's what I was going for when I was saying like throwing up here, because I wanted one.
Well, that's what everyone's going for, but it usually doesn't end that way. It usually ends with a fucking wet ass DJ board.
I think they were just as impressed as I was, so it was like mutual respect. Like, all right, cool.
And they were like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, we won't fuck each other up after this. Yeah.
I mean, not to mention, to be afraid of heights and have that going on, that adds anxiety. That's 3 more Xanax.
That was just after that fact, you know what I'm saying? That was just embracing it at that point, Yeah,
you just kind of got to head down, power through.
Yeah, it was all rickety and fucking janky. Like, if this thing falls, I'm fucking done. So, whatever. Let me just embrace it.
Yeah, you might as well, man. Nah,
so let me bring you back a little. So we're you're touring the Tempest. You're solidified. You help make the record. Then comes the Let 'Em Bleed series. You know what I mean? Like where did that whole concept and that kind of idea come from? And obviously it went on for a number of years. At what point did you decide I'm done with this?
Or how did the end happen, if you will, of those two series?
I didn't hear the last thing you said. I don't know. Is it my connection or does it always sound this awesome?
Oh, hopefully it's your connection. It's usually pretty awesome.
I got a pretty strong connection right here, but it just started stuttering real hard.
Oh, no worries. Try again, Trox.
No, so I was just saying. So you're solidified with with the crew. Then comes the Let 'Em Bleed series, and obviously that went on for a number of years. At what point did you say, you know what, this has run its course? I'm done with this, and I want to move on to the next thing?
It wasn't like that per se. Like this, like I'm tired of this. It's run its course type shit. It was more like, I've been at ICP's DJ for a long time, so it's like, here's what I predict. They one day will in fact be probably inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm definitely
believe it too.
I'm rooting for them to be. They deserve it. They should be. But would DJ Clay go with them if they did? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not kind of living in them shadows. And like I said, like what I told you guys earlier, I've always owned this record label.
Yeah.
So it's something that I've always wanted to do, and wanted to get popping like real hard, make its own mark, make your own mark. And I know I've made my mark in a lot of people's hearts and fucking lives and shit with the Let 'Em Bleeds, the Book of the Wickeds, all the mixtapes and everything that I've done in the past. But it's like shit. I feel like I'm still just getting started. Like all that shit was real dope. Like all this shit's gonna be real dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like and now my record label's getting a great response, a lot of respect. People love it. People love the artist. You know what I'm saying? We got Jason, the Sin God. We got Bales. We got Russell Hood. We got myself. And everybody's constantly dropping shit. We have a virtual show. The promo's not even out yet. I'll drop it here first right now, though. We got a virtual show on the 30th of January, and it's for Jason's release. It's a listening party.
Nice,
but it's like it's a listening experience. Not only will you be able to hear the entire mixtape, this mixtape me and him we did in 3 days. We locked ourselves in the studio and did 15 songs in 72 hours.
Oh hell yeah!
We slept in the studio, fucking we did all that. It was just me and him, and we had Bales in here for the first day we were recording, and a couple other homies. That was it though. You know what I'm saying? Small studio squad, and just fucking went hard. And this mixtape's so fucking hard. Like it's amazing,
And this will be a listening party on the 30th of January for that whole thing.
It's a listening experience.
Hell
and
yeah.
You're gonna be able to hear the record in full HD, all that good shit. But
where do people go for that?
You're also gonna get more. But like I said, I'm dropping the first promo here when the details won't be even tied up until this is how new and close this is to being finalized. You know what I'm saying? But it is happening. Just follow my social media.
Hell yeah.
Any of Jason's social media or Robbie's social media, and you'll see the promo for it because it's gonna go hard. Like it all starts like around tomorrow or the day after, all the promo for it all and everything. But
So by the time this airs, they should be able to find plenty of information on that.
By the time you're watching this by now, the promos everywhere.
Fuck
yeah.
If not, you ain't listening to just the record. There's performances as well.
Nice. Is there going to be a cost to that? People looking at that for free, or is that all?
Yes, there's a virtual ticket. The ticket's $43.
Fuck yeah.
The ticket's $43 for the ticket because we're
all right. Hell yeah.
This is Jason's listening party. He lives by the 43 code that was written by him. So 43 is an important number to him. So the tickets are $43. But here's the thing: you get this full experience, and I'm geeked about it because it's so dope how we're doing this shit. You get this full experience that's gonna include fucking interviews, fucking music videos, fucking behind the scenes of us making this record. Shit that's never been seen before. You're gonna hear the record in its entirety. You're gonna see performances as well. And if you are a person that bought this ticket, well, you'll have the fucking record on your doorstep about 4 days later. Because as soon as you buy the ticket, we got your address. So we're sending you the advanced press of this fucking mixtape. You're gonna have it before it's even released. You'll have the hard copy. Like these are special copies that we're doing. Like we're doing you know, everybody else that ordered when it does drop, it's dropping like a regular ass mixtape in a slim case, you know, silver top.
This will be full art, full jewel.
But this way that we're doing it, you're getting like digipack, like some cool ass shit, legit shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so the audiophile collectors are gonna really want to hit this up, buy this digital ticket to get that exclusive record.
Yeah, it's
it's
a $43 ticket. You get the access to the show, and you'll have this fucking, and it's signed. It's signed by Jason and myself, and it'll be at your fucking doorstep. I can't guarantee 4 days, but however long the fucking mail takes to get to your house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
these days that's like you buy 4-week postage. It'll take 4 day. It'll take 4 weeks, but that's not DJ Clay's fault, y'all. Don't blame armed robbery.
That's the post office. I mailed JDirty something on Tuesday, and it took 10.
Every time you get some shit from us, you get a tracking number. Track that damn shit. Don't fucking hit me up.
I want to tell you, man, I ordered some shit from you guys where I got the hot sauce and some shit, and I liked it because when I got my tracking number, it just said, the subject was, you got some dope shit coming to your mailbox. And I was like, that's a fresh-ass way to give me my tracking number, man. I kind of like that.
Yeah, fuck yeah. No, we gotta.
I was going to say, we support the DJ Clay over here, us Merchulos. So
discography.
I'm going to have to probably buy a fucking $43 ticket because I need that digipack. I'm a goddamn collector. Yeah, so I'll be there. But hell yeah, man.
It's a listening experience. You're going to see a lot of dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all exclusive content. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody fucking bootlegs it and throws it on YouTube. And it's, you know,
which will happen inevitably. That's what
it'll definitely.
But I'm glad you guys are going with the times. You know,
but we're on your ass. We're on your ass. We will flag that shit. You might gotta get it up there for a few hours. God damn it! But
AR's trying to eat, y'all. So go support that shit.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we get all those links in the video description.
The thing about that is, it's not even necessarily that like AR's trying to eat. Yeah, of course we all are, but it's not fair to the people that actually paid the $43.
Oh, amen, brother. But yeah, I mean, especially with no touring right now, buy music, y'all. Buy these digital experiences. Everyone's doing them. If you support these people, fucking buy that shit, because that's how they keep going. Like us too. Like, we're doing our music shit, and you know, this all helps. So, you know, support everything that you love, y'all. That's our big message, because I held up these CDs, and I like supporting all you guys. It's dope as fuck to watch you keep going, and I enjoy it, man. I'm happy you're still fucking kicking it and doing shit for everybody.
Yeah, we're starting the Muga Act.
What does that mean?
Make the underground great again. That's us.
Oh, there you go. Hey, we represent Muga.
There you
go.
I
have one final question for you, man.
Watch after this shit airs, how fat that hashtag is gonna be. Hashtag Muga.
I'm telling you what, man. Groundbreaking shit on Scrub Hop Talk. No, man, I'm curious. You've worked with a lot of people through all the mixtapes and shit like that. What is your favorite feature, non-psychopathic feature or group or whatever you've got to work with outside due to that connection?
Oh man, all right.
He's going me. Bales, me. Say me.
Damn, dude, that's a hard one, man. I worked with a lot of cool ass people.
I mean, you've done 3-6 tracks. You've done tracks with Tech 9.
Yeah.
You've done some dope shit. I'm just kind of curious what your big standout one was.
Me and Tech was real dope, man. That one stood out. Like that was special. That was real cool. Because he jumped at that so quick that it was real cool. You know what I'm saying? Like he was real quick about that one. Like he got the beat, got the song. We fucking kicked it. He fucking spit his shit. It was done, you know, like it was quick, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Like, so like that one was real dope. That one sticks out a lot, you know, and that one always has got a great response, you know?
Hell yeah, man. That's kind of what I figured. That's probably put me, I gave you the two, I would say, but yeah, the Tech track, I remember when I heard that, I was just like, God damn, man. Clay did a track with Tech. This is unreal, man. I love that track.
I remember him telling me once, it was some years back. We were playing his hometown. We were in Kansas City, and I was on a tour with Twisted at the time. And during my DJ set, you know, I was spinning like whatever I knew that got the crowd hype. You know, had everybody jumping, moshing, whatever. And I included some Tech 9 in there. And I didn't know he was in the house yet, but him and Chris were in the house, and he really appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah.
And him and Chris came and kicked it on the bus after that, and he was explaining like how dope that was. Thanks, all this. He was like, "Yo, man," he was like, he told me like we got to do another track together, and I was like, "All right, well, let's do it, let's get it." And he was like, man, I do in-stores, and people always like, what I'm saying, when you and Clay can do another track, when you and Clay can do another track, and I was like, whoa, that's real cool that fucking fans are saying that shit, like it's dope, but we still haven't done that track. Like,
hey, Tech 9, do that goddamn track you promised.
My number.
We know you're creeping in our fucking chat room.
Changed. God damn it!
Come on, Aaron. Well, hell yeah, Clay. We appreciate the shit out of you for coming on, giving us the time, bro.
You're the shit, man.
Thanks for having me, y'all, and much motherfucking love. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, man. You guys killing out there. I see all you guys.
Fuck yeah, man. We appreciate that greatly. You guys as well.
We're gonna take everybody out. We're gonna take everybody out to your new track tonight. Facts. You want to tell everybody a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's self-explanatory.
Straight facts, baby.
It's all facts. It will offend some because it's true. Truth hurts.
Hey, Scrub Hop Talks motto, baby.
Yes,
right. All love, Clay.
Hey,
yeah. Thank you, brother. Stay up, homie.
DJ Clay, facts.
Hell fucking yeah. Welcome back, guys. As promised, as promoted for a while on Wednesdays Live, the beginning of this, we have got Gary Arnett, the graphic design mastermind behind all this wasted money images behind me, college education thrown down the toilet. This is the man that Art wanted me to buy it and put it on our walls. Welcome, Gary, to Scrub Hop Talk, homie.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome, man. So I quickly kind of promoted you. We spoke of you're the graphic designer behind much of Psychopathic from the 95 zone up till very recently, it sounds. Go ahead and give your own promo to that as far as kind of your back history and how we know you.
I posted about it in the museum, but I just sort of stumbled on it. I had a clothing line in Detroit, and I sold to a lot of the stores, same stores that Psychopathic did, a lot of record stores. And one of them that we sold to, a friend of mine was the manager, and we were delivering some stuff one day, and there was just like this pile of clothing. It looked like somebody's laundry, dirty laundry. And I'm like, what's that? And she's like, oh, that's the ICP guys. And I'm like, are those returns or something? There's just like piles of laundry. And they're like, no, that's how they bring them in. It's just an arm full of T-shirts and stuff. And yeah, and they just throw them down. And we just had a quick conversation about it. And she said, oh, I go, do you sell a lot of it? And I mean, I was aware of Joe and Joey, but not in my sphere. But
didn't realize they were selling piles of used looking T-shirts that fast.
Yeah, exactly. And I and I said, do you sell a lot of it? She goes, oh, that'll be gone by the weekend. And I was like, no way, that's crazy. And there's not a lot of bands in Detroit that can do that. I mean, at that level, or even above that level for that matter. Their game was pretty strong early on.
This is the 94, 95 era or area?
Yes, yeah. It was before Riddle Box. I don't know exactly when. I know some of the earliest stuff I remember doing was probably like July, and those are maybe flyers. I'm not sure what I started with, but and then just recently I found out that I had actually done one in '94 for a Terror Wheel show at St. Andrews. That was only because I did almost all the flyers for St. Andrews, and it was just a straight up. It looked like all the templated flyers for St. Andrews. Somebody just sent me a photo and said, "Did you do this?" Somebody said, "Did you do this?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I can tell because I did at that time, and for about 10 years, I did all the flyers for St. Andrews Hall."
And so that was just what the Terror Wheel show just happened to fall because you were the St. Andrews Hall guy, not because Psychopathic hit you up. That's
correct.
crazy.
Yeah, it was. I did it. I mean, if it was for them or Nirvana or Gang of Four, whoever was touring, playing. They're like, we need flyers for all these. And anyway,
that's insane. That's dope.
And then at the record shop, I said, do you sell a lot of it? Yeah. Is it expensive? And she goes, yeah, your stuff is so much cheaper. And I was like, they're either making a killing or they're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
And so she gave me their manager's number, who was Alex at the time. And I just called him up and I said, I talked to somebody and he knew who I was talking about, the manager. And I said, she told me what you were wholesaling your hats for. And I said, hold on, or let me call you back. I said, and I called my embroiderer, who was another Detroit company. And I said, what can these guys are going to, let's just say they're buying a gross or 144 hats at a time. What kind of price? And he's like, let me call you right back. So he crunched some numbers, called me back, and it was literally almost half the price they were paying. And
wow,
Alex did not.
When can you start?
Alex did not even believe it. And he goes, well, what do you want for that? And I go, I don't want nothing. I just, you're getting ripped off by whoever's doing it, and I'm just,
how legit
just
are you?
looking out.
Awesome.
And my guy, my embroiderer, was just like, the only stipulation was, he goes, I need clean art. These guys, I've had some of these band guys before, and they're bringing me fucking matchbooks as artwork.
Right.
So I told them that. And that's how Joe and Joey first came to my studio. They brought me probably Carnival Carnage and Riddlebox cassette covers, because that's what they had, which were obviously still fairly clean art, but I scanned it, cleaned it up, and set it up so that they could digitize it and make hats. And boom, that's how that started. And then they were like looking around my studio going, well, what do you do here? And I said, artwork. And they're like, well, what do you mean artwork? And I go, and they saw my clothing line, because we had some of that laying around. And I said, all kinds of stuff, and they're like, can you make a cassette? Like, there's a whole shelf full of cassettes and some CDs at that point, and a bunch of albums that I had done. And they're like, could you make a cassette for us? And I was like, yeah, whatever, and that's where it started. But I think I actually did a flyer or two before that. And I can't remember. It's so long ago, I can't remember.
I know you were saying you thought Joker's Gallery, so we scanned that in to put it up.
Yeah.
Joker's Gallery was one of the early ones I did. And actually the artwork for that is not what appeared. The original artwork. The original artwork was a drawing that Joey did, and I took it, scanned it, and colorized it, because it was just a black and white drawing, and then set it all up, and it was called I want to say it was the Joker's Wild or something like that. And I'd have to go find. I don't have the artwork anymore, but I have a printout of it.
And I know that's the tape, but it sounds like it was probably a little different.
It was definitely different. Yeah. It was completely different. Yeah. And then they decided that they didn't want to use it, and I needed to come up with something quick, and that's what we did. That.
Gotcha.
And then that led to the Joker's Gallery tour or shows, and there was flyers that came out in July-ish. Yeah. And that was all based off of the art that I did.
I love how you said July-ish. Like you could nail the month. And
look at that, July 7th,
talking
95.
something that happened nearly
28
years ago, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was in July when I put that out.
That's so cool.
That's wild, man.
Well, it was the summer. I had probably been working with them. Like, I don't know what records were out right in that era. I'm not in tune
into
with
that
it
as much.
like
yeah,
you guys are.
Well, I'll say it was this was the Riddlebox era for sure.
Yeah.
So this was pre-Riddlebox, right? The album hadn't dropped yet.
This was like to promote Riddlebox. Yeah, this was the beginning of that.
Yeah, and that's and this. This was a very early flyer, but I don't think it was the first one. I may have done one or two before that, and I'm not sure. Other than that one I talked about that I did, for St. Andrews Hall for the promotion.
So from this on, like they're like, okay, you're doing these flyers. You made our tape, and then you became Mr. Psychopathic as far as art and everything. I looked your name up on everything.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did a decent amount of music work, and a lot of people knew that. And like, oh, if you needed to have CDs made or whatever, you could just ask somebody, and they go, yeah, but if they don't know how to design and put the package together, you're fucked. So, and I just had experience with it. So, and I had done dozens, if not, a lot more than that, probably 50 to 100 CD projects and cassette projects and vinyl projects back when it was vinyl before CDs.
Sure.
And now it's back to vinyl again. So
back to vinyl. Yeah.
There is an infamous story in the Juggalo world about how the Joker's cards come about and how the Hatchet Man came about, that Shaggy would draw these things on napkins, and then that would be kind of the beginning of that would be to draw it on a napkin, right? So did you experience any of that in working with them? Here's the idea, right? Like I wrote this up at Subway today.
Whether some stuff would almost literally come on napkins or loose leaf paper. That was my favorite. It would be torn out of like a notepad or something like that. But
this is our great idea.
Joey would draw them up, and Joey actually has, and you guys know, has pretty good skills. It was just the refining, and if you look from Carnival Carnage and even Ringmaster, they're good. They're a little crude, and I mean, it's just honestly, and then comes Riddlebox. It's a lot more refined,
more polished, more smooth.
Exactly. And that's where myself and Dan Christie, who was my studio partner at the time, who illustrated a bunch of work, and his name's in a lot of the CDs as well. We worked back and forth on a lot of those projects, and we tried to stay extremely true to what Joey drew. He's drawing it with whatever he's drawing with, whether it's a ballpoint pen or whatever. And line weights are very thin and maybe uneven. So our goal is to go back in and make sure it was more organic.
Crisp it up so you can print it.
Exactly.
Right. Make some money off of it.
And some things changed after, we got, there are variations of things, they don't exist. The problem is I lost a hard drive probably about 10 years ago that had a good 6 or 7 years worth of psychopathic work on it, as well as other stuff, digital files. But there were the original. We got the concept ideas for the Jekyll Brothers, and then we wanted to just dial it up a little bit more. And the original version of the Jekyll Brothers that we did was, honestly, it was amazing. I mean, their teeth are like dripping. Yeah, their teeth are dripping and really, really sinister. And Joe was just like, "Oh man, this is kind of too good, brother." They're gonna think we sold out. And I was just like, okay, can you dial it back a little bit? I'm like, okay, so we dialed it back closer.
Cannibal Corpse. We gotta go back.
Not that so much. It was just it was sort of sleek but sinister looking.
Kind of left the look of the Joker.
Well, yeah, because up until then, it's all.
It was very cartoonish. They're very cartoonish, and there's nothing wrong with that. We were just trying to inch it along, which was always funny because later, and they were very specific about certain things, and later to see like the Tom Wood stuff, which was completely blown out of the water, 3D versions of those. I was just like, that's ironic that's all, although they don't really use those for Joker's cards. I mean, on the actual
not on the album covers,
but in promo material. But it was in that direction a little more. We knew that we needed to keep them as designs, flat colors, simple designs, so that they could screen print, so they could make jerseys and things like that. And that kind of technology drove a lot of what we did, design wise.
That's really cool.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Another big story I wanted to talk to you about was the very infamous poster behind my head. The just when you thought they were dead poster. When you told me that you were the man behind that, I literally was like, this guy he was the mastermind behind every piece I've ever sought after and cherish and anything above. The story behind that is epic, and I was hoping that you wouldn't mind kind of sharing that with us, because I love it. I can't believe it.
Well, so you got to remember at this time, which is, thick in Malenko, Riddlebox, proved we could work together fairly well. We got a new record called, The Great Malenko. And I would try to also anticipate a little bit of promo material. So when we would design even the CD stuff, I would take some of the elements sometimes and try to build maybe new ads or at least ideas, because sometimes I would get these calls.
One of those right here. That
that one
from that same.
That's just from the Malenko photo session.
Was that not you? I thought you had said you had done their scene cover. I apologize.
No, that's Ohio. No, that was just a promo.
Get rid of
that's just a promo photo. No, that's right.
Right. But no, so you take the elements from those designs.
Yeah, and then the photo session of those heads happened, and I got a call, and probably Alex, and he's like, New York or wherever it was wants a promo poster ASAP, and they want to do this giant poster, and we want to make it kind of maybe look like an old, horror poster, movie poster, or whatever. You'll see the photos; they're pretty cool. It's like their heads chopped off or something. And I'm like, okay, great. And they're like, but here's the caveat: it's got to be in. This is early on a Friday afternoon. It's got to be in New York. I think it was. For Monday. So they literally had a runner bring the photo over to me. It got a scan, did a little bit of color, I tinted it green or something. I literally probably didn't spend more than half an hour on it, if that. I had to meet the 4:30 FedEx pickup deadline.
Holy shit,
pick up the CD or zip drive or whatever we were using back then. Threw it together. And they said, we're going to make this big subway poster kind of thing. Boom, and it was gone. And I didn't find out till later that the weird little scraggly stuff down below their necks was actually meant to be like photo. I don't know if you can see it there. It was meant to be photoshopped in like flesh and bloody and stuff like that. But there was no time for that, and no one told me at that time what it was.
Amazing.
I just thought, he kind of made it look like their heads were ripped off or something. I don't know.
Ripped off, man, that's crazy.
And boom, it was gone. And I think I told you, I had a tube of those posters, probably 8 or 10 of them. Gave one to a friend, and they sat around. I don't know how long. I moved up. They sat around for quite a while. And then when I moved my studio, I had so much shit in my studio. I'm like, I got to get rid of this stuff. And there were 23 contractor bags full of shit from my old studio, just trying to thin out the stuff because I didn't want to migrate it all. Kept some stuff, but that tube went in the trash with.
Bro,
I like to say that dumpster was a juggalo's wet dream. There were it wouldn't fit all in the dumpster. There were probably 15 or 20 bags sitting outside of it. Posters, you name it.
I might actually have a wet dream to this story. I'm just gonna my show right now.
Yeah, my thing was always if I could get press sheets. So that would be there before everything's cut up and it's got printer bars around the outside and registration marks, because those are super one-offs. And I also like, as a graphic designer, I like that imagery. And I still have a few things, but not very many that I would try to get press sheets, even if I wasn't handling it and somebody like in New York was handling it, I would say, hey, is there a possibility you can get them, pull me 2 or 3 press sheets, uncut sheets, and then, 2 of them and send them to me. Sometimes I would get them, a lot of that stuff though, all got broomed into the trash. I mean, I just didn't have the room. I was moving from, probably a 1,000 square foot studio down to about a third of that. And I needed to, and I was also buying this big giant, large format printer. I just needed room, and I'd held on to it forever. And I just, at that time, there was not really an aftermarket like there is now. I mean,
sure,
there was some going on, but it was the height of it. They were pumping out so much stuff. There was no time, like there is now.
Never thought I should keep 20.
And you guys were all kids. You guys were all kids and didn't have any money. Now you're rolling and you're paying ridiculous amounts of money. I heard that poster is going for like $800, and I'm just like,
so that's what I was just going to say. My story on that, I had one that was all fucked up and the edges were torn and it had tack holes in it. And I kind of liquidated all of my shit because I moved through multiple houses like you. And so I had Jay, who's, you know, the master at the museum. I had him help me sell this thing, and he got me like $300 for it. I want to say 4 years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Some time ago, yeah. I don't remember.
Sometime like that, 3 or 4 years ago. Gets me 300. Tells me the other day, he's like, bro, I could get you 7 right now. And I'm like,
nice.
Are you?
It's
so
amazing
I
the
mean,
way
that
things switch.
that tube that you tossed in the garbage, you probably could have got 10 grand for, which is
Oh,
fucking
easily. They were mint.
Oh,
I mean,
I know.
pretty much all the
Crazy,
posters I still have some. I cherry picked a couple of everything, and I still have some stuff. But almost all of that stuff is mint because it was rolled up, and I forgot about a bunch of it. I had moved, and a bunch of the old stuff that I knew I wasn't going to touch got shoved way over in the corner, and I piled some other shit in front of it, and then I found some poster tubes. That's where I found the only poster that exists, the real poster of the Strangler jeans, which I did as a full-page ad in the Detroit Metro Times. But really? I like the design of it, so I blew it up because I had a large poster printer. I blew that up from original files and had it hanging on my studio. Had 2 doors. I had it hanging on the studio door forever. And it's funny because people look at that and go, "Is that Joey?" And I'm like, "Well, the head is. The body is not." I think it was like,
Right.
Honestly, I looked at it again recently and I was like, "Who the hell is this?" And I'm like, "I think that might be Bruce Springsteen." And I'm like, "No, that's not Bruce Springsteen."
That would make me so happy.
It's Jason Priestley. Yeah.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
So speaking of putting Joey's face on other characters, are you behind the infamous Tunnel of Love Triple X cover? I'd have to assume. So
yeah, both of them, both Tunnel of Love covers.
Oh, that's fair. But how did they? Amazing. Joe calls you up. Hey, we need Joey's head on.
We want to do 2 covers. One, the standard issue was a book cover that they brought me.
Like a grocery store romance kind of novel thing. That's what I've always pictured that from. I never knew the origin.
No, it's not. It's not. It's a book, and I'm trying to think of. Honestly, it's a book on sexuality or something like that. It's crazy. It's
it looks like it from the
human
image.
Sexuality or some kind of weird thing like that.
I
added the pink sort of tint and stuff to it. And it's from like the early 70s, I think. And then they're like, and then we want to do like we're thinking about doing this X-rated version. And I go, okay, great. Do you have,
what's your idea?
Nude photos of yourselves that you want me to use? No, it's probably going to be Joey. And so I'm like, all right, I can Photoshop some stuff. But I go, before I go through and do all this, you need to talk to who's ever printing this. Because, they print a lot of CDs and girls in bikinis and whatever. But this is... at the time,
dudes with their hard dicks out.
It made it be. It
it's a very pornographic photo. Like there's nothing like softcore cotton about this at all. I know you're not familiar as we are with the image.
It's a woman holding a hard dick. Like it's very aggressive.
Well, I think they were using maybe disc makers at the time. And then I get a call from like Alex and he's like, dude, we got the green light. They're going to run this on the midnight shift when there's no women working.
Yes.
And we got to buy all we want that one time. They're only going to run it once. And so whatever they offered, 5 or 10,000, I don't know what it was back then. And then, obviously stickered to cover it up and everything like that. Yeah, it was the reissue stuff of it, which is actually, I think, is it on vinyl or did they just reissue it on?
They reissued it on vinyl, both covers.
Yeah, I think they just took it and blew it up.
Yeah, the graphics.
It's really grainy. Yeah, it's really horrible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I mean, one of the things that I wanted to ask about that I had heard was that let me phrase that a different way. They have been long standing announcing projects and then they never come out. I can list probably here's one of them right there. There's a project that they announced that never came out. Superheroes right there. That never came to light. But how many things were you involved in where they brought a concept to you? You designed an album and nothing ever happened with it.
Yeah, if it was in any of those early CDs like Riddlebox and Malenko and were there any in Jekyll Brothers? I can't remember. If they were in there,
not that didn't.
Yeah, I don't think in Jekyll Brothers, but in the early one, in Malenko, I think, and certainly in Riddlebox. Yeah, those are some of them. They had a little bit of a concept. Some they didn't. Some. I'm trying to think what was Forgotten Freshness advertised in one of them. I'm not
probably,
sure.
but those came out. I know, like the
They
Shaggy
did.
Show DVD had like a whole little cover that
Yeah,
never happened, and
none of
the
that
paint-
shit happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Legs Diamond CD and the first Jump Steady CD.
Right.
Yes, correct.
Did you ever? So the reason I wanted to take you down this question real quick is because I was curious if you ever put together any concept art or anything for the Bloody Brothers project that was supposed to come out in like '99, I want to say 99, 2000, right, Jay?
I know the name of it, but I can't recall if I did anything. It's one of those things where, so here's in a nutshell what it was. In a 5-day work week, 4 days out of 5, I was doing Psychopathic stuff. So much shit. I'm talking T-shirts, poster designs, tour merch, tour buses, CD packages, singles packages, DVDs, cassette, whatever.
New logos each time.
Yeah, logos for all that stuff. I mean, and then multiple logos. I mean, one of my favorite logo stories was, was it? Are there multiple Psychopathic Riders logos?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. They were like, we got this thing we're doing. It's called Psychopathic Riders, blah, blah, blah. I need some logos. I think that's what the project was. And so I knocked out probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 different logos. And,
Jesus.
the problem was Alex couldn't necessarily say yes to it. Joe had to sort of green light it. So I got into at that time, Rich Legs Diamond was working for them, in Psychopathic, doing something, whether he was managing the warehouse, whatever. I don't remember what it was, but, and I knew him. So I would call him and I'd go, hey, who's around? Oh, actually, they're all here. They're in a meeting and it's supposed to go till 2:00. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. Because I knew if Joe was there, I'd get an answer. I'd get a concrete yes, no, get direction.
No, but I can
not,
move.
I didn't want to fuck around with it. And so I went in and I was showing Alex. I think I had each design on a sheet of paper and had them all turned over. And I go, and that's how I pitch it. They're turned over and I go, just flip them over and then flip it back and flip it over, flip it back and figure out which ones you want. And so Joe happened to be walk in and he was just like, what are you doing? And I go, Gary's got some logos, stuff like that. And of course he flips them all over and we're trying to decide which one. And he's looking at it and he just goes, fuck it, take them all. And so of course, Alex is cringing because at this point, I'm aware how much money they're making off of those designs. And I mean, I'm not giving them away. I would never give anything away, but and
you're being compensated to what you're worth.
Sure. Yeah. And
he won all 7 rights to these.
And he won all 7. So
hell yeah.
What I would have, I don't know, maybe made, I'm just saying maybe $1,000 or $1,500. I walked out of there with like $7,000 or something.
You're like, hey, that was a good day.
Fucking great day. It was. Because then from that, there was a lot of ancillary stuff that was made with some of those. And
sure.
I mean, I did a lot of their printing production too. They were used to just taking things to Kinko's. If you look at their flyers were pretty much black and white until they would just, swap out paper color and stuff like that. And then I want to say, shit, what is it? It's got a bloody handprint or something like that on it. It's a black and white flyer, but it's got red on it. I can't think of what it is now.
I can't either.
Mutilation
mix. Oh, I was going to say mutilation mix has blood all over it.
Yeah, that was.
I'm surprised Jay didn't have that right off rip.
Well, it's not a handprint, but there's blood all over it.
Blood on it, yeah. That was me. I pitched them the idea of doing a 2-color flyer, and that was the very first 2-color flyer or multicolor flyer.
There is a handprint on it. It's inside that display case. I just looked. You were right, my friend.
And so that was when we still did black and white ones, or 1-color ones, but that was the first because somebody, I think it was in the museum or something, somebody mentioned that or had that, and they're just like, is this worth anything? Is anybody? And I'm like, dude, that's the very first color flyer, even though it was only 2-color that they ever did, and it was just the expense of it.
And it was on glossy paper. It
wasn't printed at Kinko's. I mean, we had to take it to a print shop, give them color separations and which are simple spot color, but
legit.
And then from there, I can't think of what, but then we rolled into color printing after that. A lot of stuff was still color printed.
So I just wanted to put up a couple of the other things here that that you're responsible for before we we want to go into what you got going on coming up. But before we do that, I just wanted to take. Oh, I've been drinking bourbon the whole time, man. You're totally fine. So this is the Dark Lotus ad from when it was Bobby Mars and
first announced, first logo.
23 years old now? 100% me, yep.
Wild.
So the Dark Lotus project, I know you said you didn't do all of them, but yeah, you created this very first logo, which again, insanely epic.
Iconic.
So at this point in the game, at this level, 2001, they're buying everything. I want every logo, everything you can do. From that era, from that time, I was just curious. The Psychopathic, the last time they hit you up, is it like, oh, just show us 3 and we'll get like a half of one? You know what I mean? Are they still like buying everything you show up, or is that whole let's go crazy?
No, they would just send me. They would send me the information for this. We need a Dark Lotus. Well, we need a Dark Lotus logo, or a logo for Dark Lotus, and they would send me, announcing our new album. It's called Tales from the Lotus Pot. I didn't have anything to do with the album art. I don't know who did. I don't even remember. I don't know that I've ever actually held one. I did this. I did a poster. I did a rubber keychain of that logo. I think.
Jay goes, I have one in my hand.
It's not in my hand, but I do own one.
All right, let me take you to the next one here. I want to get your take on.
I have some mint versions of that
one. We talked about Joker's Gallery. Now this one, this is an amazing image to me. This really brings me back big time.
This is them, relaying to me. Sometimes it would come in the form of initially faxes. We're doing this tour called The Wicked Clowns from Outer Space. Can you maybe do something with us in some kind of space outfits? I don't know if there's any on there, but I may have done some initial sketches. Dan, my studio partner at the time, Dan, did most of the illustration work on it. And if it's very look-wise, their heads are very similar, sort of to
the Jekyll Brother photos.
Yeah, also
crazy to me, man.
Mad Professor.
Yeah.
Sort of in that vein. But it is also very sort of photo-like. And, when it's cartoony, it's actually way easier to do.
I'm sure.
And that was a shirt that we all were
we did the twisted stuff down on the bottom too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I have a very shitty version of that tattooed right there.
Nice. Yeah, those ultimately became their faces for the Beanie Boys too.
Yeah, man, and I think you're also responsible for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't see what it is.
Your logos in there, the Hocus Pocus clowns.
Yeah. That was interesting because that was one of the first times that they actually. I'm going. You guys, you're clowns. Let me put you
lean into it. Lean into
it. Let me put you in fucking clown suits. Ooh. And they're like, okay. And I believe.
It's one of my favorite all-time images, obviously, since
I think they were gone on tour somewhere, and this all when I finished it, they gave me all the information for the back. It got a quick once over, and it went off to print. And wasn't it just a European single at first or something? I honestly, yeah, and it went to Europe and was printed, and Joey never saw it until it came in. And they were just like, "Oh shit," you know. And then that ended up morphing into the skateboard, and then the whole the tour,
Juggalo Funhouse tour,
Funhouse tour,
and the Beanie Babies.
Wow,
and the Beanie Babies, yeah, and their faces for the Beanie Babies.
I love we got Cotton in here, and he's looking at these things, and he's like, "I was 6 years old when this all was coming out." He has no idea what's going on.
Zero frame of reference for any of this. But I do have a question for you, Gary, and that is because we've been talking about just all clown stuff, obviously, this whole time. But you got into this just to do graphic design, and like, was there another artist or group or some other work that you did along this timeline that like really sticks out to you in your mind of like someone that you got to work with?
A different realm.
What I don't even know what year this is. You know, somewhere in there, there's Kid Rock stuff. There's man, who else is this? King Gordy.
Nice.
Man, I'm trying to think. You know, other bands. I mean, that I wanted to work with. It didn't matter. I mean, you know, if you called and I had. Yeah, whoever's paying. If you called and I had the time to get into it and do it, I did it. You know,
that's awesome, man. A lot of Detroit. Did you ever worked with Isham in his early days, or did he?
No, never did any Isham work. I think he had somebody who handled all of his stuff. You know, I mean,
he's had the same logo since 1988. So,
yeah, and that's you know, to his credit, you know, that's unlike ICP. They wanted a different logo for every project, which meant they could sell, you know, a new T-shirt. You know, both the name logo and the album. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, Twisted has a different Twisted logo for every single run.
I did probably 10 different Twisted logos, probably. Including the famous Green Book Guts logo, they like to call it. I didn't have anything to do with this, although let's see, what's the date on that? Can you tell?
My producer is not. They're not taking a good.
I think it's God. I want to say this is 94 or 95.
Yeah, that I was part of Orbit magazine, but from the beginning. There was a handful of us that started it, but that at that time, I had stepped away because my graphic business had just exploded. I still occasionally did some work and stuff. I believe those are Isham, or not Isham, E-Wolf photos. I can't remember. He shot stuff for us, and he was a friend of mine who was a photographer. I brought him in to shoot a lot of clown stuff and a lot of Twisted.
96 is what it says.
96. Yeah, I was definitely gone from the magazine. I mean, gone being literally maybe not even a half a mile down the road, because I had to move out of the magazine studio that I'd been working in there and doing a lot of even some clown stuff, and I had to move out of there and move to my own studio. I bought a whole new setup, and you know, spent like $30,000 on a computer setup, and it
holy
fucking
shit.
hurt. Yeah, well, that's when I paid $5,000 for a laser printer, which is just ridiculous because you can buy that same kind of thing for about $800 now.
I was gonna say,
easily.
It evolved greatly. Man,
Gary, man, thank you
dope.
so much for being on our show. This history and knowledge, and you know, I'm calling you a friend, Gary. This has been a really, really good time having you here with us.
All right.
Want to talk a little bit about what you got coming up. Jay was kind of filling me in before the show that you had some events.
Yeah.
Oh, well, one of the projects that I worked on. Well, I worked with ICP Psychopathic for quite a while. It might have been 12 years. You know, and then there was some. For a while, it paused. I came back with Bang Pow Boom. I did up to the first Wraith record, the Shangri-La, and then we sort of parted ways there. And then beyond that, I came back with Bang Pow Boom when they brought Mike Clark back, who's a friend of mine. And he actually suggested it to Joe. He's like, "You need to bring Gary back, man. We need to get that mojo going."
Nice.
So at the time we parted ways after Shangri-La, I don't even know the years there. Is that 2004, something like that?
Jay probably could tell you the release date.
Yeah, I got in the former publisher of the Orbit magazine had started this art show called the Dirty Show here in Detroit, and I'd been involved a little bit even with the very first few, and it wasn't struggling, but it needed some prodding in another direction. And one of the guys who was also involved in it was sort of leaving, and so this opportunity came up for me to step in, and I had a lot of free time because those 4 days with doing psychopathic stuff were no longer there.
Finally over. Yeah,
and I stepped into took a large role in the Dirty Show, which is now in its. So that would have been about Dirty Show 4, Dirty Show 5, I think. And now this year, which is coming up in a few weeks, Dirty Show 23. So it's been 23 years.
Congratulations.
It's actually the largest erotic art show in North America. So it started initially in the offices of the magazine. We moved all the desks and shit out of the way and hung a bunch of art. And then there was a dentist's office down the hall that moved out, so we convinced the landlord to rent it for, a weekend, and then hung a bunch of art in there. And now it's if you've been to Detroit, if you've been to any of the, not the most recent Hall of Wickeds, but maybe 3 or 4 years ago, it was at the Russell Industrial Center in Detroit. We were the very first public event in that Russell Industrial Center when they opened it up as an event space.
And then that's where you do it every year?
Yeah, and that's where we've been doing it since then. And we hang about 200 artists, probably over 300 pieces of art. And there's a film category, and there's a stage with burlesque and drag queens. And I don't have anything to do with any of that, but the artists are enough of a diva. I don't need more that end, and I just don't want to deal with that. But it's pretty popular. I mean, it probably over the course of 2 weekends, we probably bring about give or take 10,000 people through.
Wow!
And it's in the middle of February. It's always around Valentine's Day for lovers, and
of course, set the mood.
It's
for the lovers out there.
Yeah, and it's fun. Actually, you're in Denver. We have one of our featured artists is a girl from Denver this year. We have art from Colombia, from Brazil, from Germany, obviously North America and Canada. I mean, the United States and Canada. Obviously, a lot in the Midwest and the Detroit area. It's kind of a staple around here. There used to be other events in February, and then this thing just grew bigger and bigger, and a lot of those events have moved away from February. We kind of own a lot of February.
You took them.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
And that website for that is Dirty Detroit?
Dirtyshow.org.
Oh, okay.
Dirtyshow.org.
Yeah, if you hit that, it resolves to dirty. What is it? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's dirtyshow.org.
And then your website is electricvector.com. Correct?
Yeah, that's my poster gig. We started that probably, I don't know, 2015, 2016. They're sort of vintage throwback posters, not reprints. We've taken ideas, we mash up old and new imagery, and we created vintage artwork. And it's kind of in the realm of spook show horror movie stuff. If you're familiar with spook shows, girly burlesque stuff, and vintage racing. And there's a few other oddball things. And those we wholesale, we sell on our website. We do street fairs, travel to other shows and things like that. And then I still do graphic design,
Man, the man stays busy. Detroit's own Gary Arnett, you guys.
Yeah.
It's been dope as hell. Gary, thank you for your time, my friend. You were awesome. It's been an eye-opening Juggalo experience, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary.
I'd like to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
We're gonna do that.
Gotta go. We're having some static here.
We're gonna play a track right now, and then I gotta go talk to Gary about my car's extended warranty. So we will.
Yeah, guys, we'll be right back.
Thank you, Gary.
Scrub Hop Talk. You guys, thank you very much, Gary Arnett, the boys of BDC. We'll see you guys in about 5 minutes.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks. Hell fucking yeah, y'all. Welcome back to Scrub Hop Talk. We appreciate you guys. That was Alien by Insane E, and the alien himself is right in front of us. Welcome to the show, homie.
What's up, y'all? How you guys doing?
Fucking, we're doing great, man. We appreciate you joining us here on Scrub Hop Talk on a Sunday night. You know, I could talk about you and tell everyone who you are, but let me give you the floor for a minute. And who's Insane E to this crowd, to our people?
Well, I mean, some people know me as the coloring book guy. Some people know me as the graphics guy for Magic Ninja Entertainment. Some people know me as Insane E, the guy who spits liquid fire.
The alien, if you will.
The alien. I'm not really from this planet. Who else am I? I'm a few other people inside of my head. But
hey, asshole, when your lady's mad at you, we all understand.
That's right. That's right. Definitely
we all
an
have
asshole.
aliens.
But yeah, so what's good? How's things?
Man, we're good. I wanted to jump right off the bat when you said the coloring book guy.
Yes.
Because first off, when did the first one come out? Like,
okay, so I released the prototype of the first one I took to the gathering in 2004. So the official first one for sale was 2005.
And in those years, my boy Big Trox, he bought one that year.
Absolutely.
I remember him having them. We all saw him like, who's doing this? Is this a hatchet project? Nah, some juggalos walking around selling them. And you're right, we knew of you, but no one knew you or what you were doing.
I get a lot of times people are like, "You're that comic book guy, right?" And I'm like, "It's not a comic book. It is a coloring book."
So tell the audience out there that may not have been at the gathering in 2005 and been able to purchase one.
I'm pretty sure everyone watching was at that gathering.
Tell our audience a little bit about what this coloring book was.
All right, so I've been a juggalo since I was in like 7th, 8th grade, around that time, and I've always been an artist, so I've been drawing pictures in the juggalo world since then, and along the years, somebody mentioned that I should do a coloring book because of the style that I draw in, and so I put together a book of 30 or 40 pages in the first volume of just random drawings that I do of ICP, Twisted, Blaze,
juggalo inspired cartoons.
Yeah, right. The Dark Carnival, or I threw some mazes in the first one. So it's a coloring book of my own artwork based off of ICP, Twisted, Blaze, Psychopathic.
And it hit because you kept, then the subsequent years kept happening, and I kept seeing these things come out, and then I'm like, I gotta collect these.
Volume 1 came out in 2005. Volume 2 came out in 2008. Volume 3 came out in 2012. So almost 3 to 4 years, I dropped a new one. And then, and that's what really got my name out there in the juggalo world. So I started going to the gatherings back in 2001 was my first one in Toledo.
Nice. Yeah,
and,
boy, me too. That was my first one also. Hell
I remember having very faded memories of that building.
Yeah, those indoor ones were pretty classic, but nothing beats the
hell yeah.
So yeah, I was selling those, and I when I took the prototype to the gathering, it was like there was not too many people in the juggalo community doing stuff like that. Now,
I was going to say that too.
People doing all kinds of awesome things, in the world, but back then it was kind of scarce, other than the art galleries at the gatherings and things like that, the art shows and stuff.
And those are almost sanctioned tents, not this thing that's moving around and people are starting to talk about. It's so dope to me that because we remember that, No,
and I remember I was at all 3 of those gatherings that you referenced, and I remember it became oh my God, there's a new coloring book. We got to get one, and it the word spread around the gathering so quickly because it was such
it's so unique,
big iconic item. Yeah, you really came up with this like super awesome, iconic thing from the gathering that a lot of juggalos will always remember. So
where'd you get that? This guy in a backpack over. Everyone had a fucking backpack.
And that's
Like,
the thing about it was super guerrilla style. I didn't fucking have a table set up or a booth anywhere. It was all just me and my homies, like hustling out of my book bag. You know, we took 300-400 books to the gathering and sold out in a couple days every year for fucking from 2005 all the way up till 2000. The 17th annual Wizard of the Hood one. That's when I stopped going. That's the last one I was at anyway. And
so all of this, yeah, right. Hey, me too. That's funny.
Was the Wizard of the Hood gathering was a fucking awesome time.
So sick. So the coloring book though is that ultimately led you to starting to do artwork for Psychopathic. Is that correct?
Right. Yep.
Like they started seeing this, like, hey, this dude's dope. These kids like his style.
Right.
Let's
Rachel Paul. I don't know if you know Rachel Paul. She's a juggalo artist as well. She does the tarot cards. She worked with them, and she's the one who passed my information along to them. And in 2010, they hired me as a graphic artist, doing T-shirt designs, and eventually leading into doing album designs and stuff of that nature with them. So I worked for Psychopathic for about 3 or 4 years, roughly.
Now, where you are now is epic, but you made it to Psychopathic on your art, being a juggalo for all these years. Mind blowing. I mean, is that why you're an alien? It fucking threw your brain up to the fucking clouds. And...
Man, I'll tell you what, being into the scene, coming up, listening to these guys, and then working for these guys is still so surreal to me. I can't, I can't believe that I get to wake up every day and design a Twisted albums. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
right.
It's nuts to me. It's still crazy, unreal to me. And
in your short
super fanboy, super fanboy still, like trying to contain my excitement.
Pretend like it's not dope as fuck that you're on every cover.
Yeah.
No, in your short time at the Hatchet, I wanted to say you told me you did the box set, which is probably one of the more iconic pieces to come out.
That was one of my favorite things to work on, even though, I didn't design the Joker cards, obviously, but working on anything involving those first 6 Joker cards was like,
so this guy here,
look on the back, you see my name down on the bottom of it.
I was going to say, man, it's super fresh like that. Just to be a part of it in any way had to have been dope. And then you led over to the next chapter, and Trox has an image of like, fucking 100 awesome covers you've done.
I do. And I kind of want to go through these a little bit here and kind of take the audience on a little journey with
all
us.
Of them in there, but there's the ones that stood out to me the most.
Humble brag.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so these are the vinyls here first, right? I mean, this is
the House of Crazy ones.
Yep, the House of Crazy set. And that was an honor to be able to work on that project alone with Jamie and work on a new design off of something so classic in the Juggalo world. So, I mean, I hope I did it justice, but I think they've turned out dope. And, I
mean, this is one of like the, obscure pages almost of the covers that you've done. So it's nuts to me. Like,
let's move on here.
You've done this many things. When I went through it, I'm like, God damn, this guy. What didn't you do that's come out?
This is seriously everything that's been released that I can even imagine.
The Twisted single down there, if you go back one, it's not so much of a cover design, but it was like a single CD that we gave away at 420.
And you're on that.
Yeah, and that was the first time that they asked me to be on a track with everybody, and I was like, it's a legendary lineup on that track. You got Prozac, the ROC. Mikey Clark
did at the time.
On it. Mikey Clark mixed it, and Fritz helped with it, and ROC, Blaze, Twisted, Ajax, my homie Ajax, and Swag Tooth was on that shit. So that's like a legendary track right there. And to be asked to be on that, I was like, holy shit, yes, absolutely.
Next to that, the green circle,
my mouse wasn't working. This one right here.
Yep.
The 420 show.
Yeah, so it's not the most creative design of a disc, but it has
but a standout, as that was the first time we heard you on a bigger level, essentially, because you're being featured on a Twisted track
like that. Yeah,
that's dope, man. I mean, so go down another one, Trox.
Yep.
So this one here, again, I don't think any of this is not epic. I think it's awesome what you're doing.
It's
Go
amazing.
to under Place in the Woods.
A Place in the Woods.
No, under that. What the fuck?
Under that. There is a single that they released this year. It was just a free download if you purchased something on 420, I believe, on MNE store.
Jesus.
So it's just a single, but the fact
so
that,
obscure.
But everything in that cover is something I designed for
all
Twisted.
the wraps and the trays
Right.
and see that and the jar.
Right. And so the one right beside it, the Bones and Blunts album, was the logo that ended up on that tray, ended up on the jar, ended up on all those products. The Wicked Wraps, I designed those. The ashtray, you can't see the ashtray, but it's a Twisted ashtray, shit like that. And I went to the studio and I went in Monoxide's office and he had all this shit laying on his desk in the office. And I just kind of set it up and made it look okay for a picture. So this is all shit that's actually in Paul's office.
Damn. That's so funny. I looked at that like, I don't own that. I gotta ask questions.
Right.
What the fuck
It's
is
just
that?
a digital single, so it wasn't.
Okay, I feel better now. I thought I was slipping.
Yeah. So I don't know if too many people even got that downloaded because it was only something you got like a weekend on MNE store.
I mean, and the only reason I felt okay because it's got the Rock logo on it, so I'm sure I can't fucking stand the sound of it. But on the same note, I would have bought it or bought the bundle that cost $100 to get the free physical single, and I'm like, I don't own that. So what the
I
fuck is
can't remember what the actual promo was and how you got that, but I think it was. Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
not
one
sure,
of the heavy metal songs, the Twisted Sister version.
No, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure that that's a rap song.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, I'll check it out.
See, now just because we put that logo on things now, it doesn't mean it's rock. Because we use that logo for Revelation.
I will hear that, and then I will determine if that's a true statement.
Yeah, well, okay.
Because so far that logo scares me, but
Yeah.
but this isn't about that at all. I'm just bitter. But
Right. Don't listen to Jay. E. Don't listen to him.
Say what?
No, I just said don't listen to Jay, and he said that's your opinion.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'm an old rock fan, and I really gravitate towards Twisted's rock style more so than the rap. And I understand why some people don't feel that because it's not old school sounding. It's not what they
But even
are.
in the old school, I hated rock, so I'm at least consistent.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Jay has never been a rock guy our entire lives. I've been standing next to this guy since we were 16 years old, and he's never liked it at all. And when he heard the recent stuff, he said, "Sounds like Head PE. You'll probably really like it, but it's not for me."
I love some Head PE as well. Head PE.
Love it.
See, there you go.
I love it. That's my shit. So
So aside from the Twisted sound and me being a hater,
I want to go to the last image here.
So I'm used to like the rock vibes. My dad, we grew up him playing guitar around fires and shit. So like I'm just
dad drank a lot and hit my mom, so we lived the rock lifestyle for the most part.
Well, I want to go to
Trox
this.
on the last
I want to
image?
go to this last image because this one blew my fucking mind. Okay, look at all of these cover.
Yeah, and
these
this,
album cover images.
this image is a little bit outdated because I didn't add any of the last 2 years of.
Man,
still insane.
But I'm like,
What-
how do if I
what
add
an
more of that, you're not going to be able to see shit. So
Yeah.
but like at the bottom of it, like Jump Steady's The Road album was really fun to do. The spoken word album that Jump Steady
It's
did.
such
That
a
was,
unique project too. So did you draw that and everything?
I had my little brother Lunchbox pose. Like I had him hold a bucket, and like I stood there and I kind of sketched him out real quick just to get
dope, dog.
just to get the frame of Jump Steady there on the cover and the lantern.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not good at drawing people in general, so I had to have like a actual person standing there. So my brother did that for me, and yeah, that project turned out to be a rare one, and people are really looking for that one. So I'm
What's
just
funny is it was rare enough, and then they talked about it on one of those Patreons, and
Yeah.
it fucking like went crazy. I was like, shit, man, I should have held on to that stack I had. Fuck
yeah.
that. So
I still have
of
all the original. I have all the original sketch art from that, from like the you know, the process of it. So like, and I thought about auctioning it off or selling it, but I'm really attached to my original drawings. So I try not to sell them off or get rid of them if I absolutely don't have to. But I'm sure some people would want that kind of stuff. Like I have the original Magic Ninja logo, you know, the shit like
now
that.
that's something we got to talk about. Okay. So I didn't know that you did all of those until Jay sent them to me tonight. And I got that. And I'm looking at all these messages. I'm like, oh my God, are these all designed by Insane E? And he's like, yeah, dog.
And there's probably like 50 more that I didn't put in those files.
And that's just crazy to me. The amount that you've had your hand in since you've joined this label is incredible. And that resume that we just showed the audience is really phenomenal. And the thing that Jay said to me immediately,
you know, shout out to George at Magic Ninja for putting me on like that. When I met up with him, I've known him for years when he was with Psychopathic, but I met up with him at Peabody's in Cleveland one day, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come do some shirt designs for us with Twisted before Magic Ninja happened?" And he's like, "I'll keep you busy." And from that moment, I have not had time to think about shit else. So
dope, dog. Congratulations.
But
no, that's what I was gonna say. Was Jay followed up with the most mind-blowing thing that he told me, and that is that you designed the original logo. And I just like,
yeah, the process was Jamie Madrox often gives me his concept sketches. So they had a couple ideas for the label. I'm not going to get into what it was going to be called and where it was going, but what we were coming up with just wasn't hitting right. And you know when you see something that it's ready, you know. So we went through a couple different names for the label, a couple different logo ideas, and then Jamie sent me some ninja sketches and some ideas. One of them was like a ninja holding a wand like it was a sword, but it looked kind of weird. It just didn't fit. We went through like several different concepts, and you know, we ended up making what is the Magic Ninja Entertainment logo on your hoodie there, Jay.
Fucking A, baby. Award just for you, my friend.
Yeah.
And because it's embroidered and it doesn't suck. It's good quality. So
those fucking embroidered hoodies are nice. I love them.
That's just the way to go, merch people out there listening or watching. We buy more.
We're getting ready to drop a bunch of embroidered stuff for
baby.
Black Friday. We got a lot of stuff coming. So.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm trying to save up for that. I know both you labels are going to kick my ass that day, you fucking pricks.
Yeah, we just had a meeting about all the stuff we're doing for that. But now I got to work on all the stuff. So.
Well, get to it because I want to buy it. But speaking of some merch you've done, this to me is crazy fresh.
Oh,
I don't know how to get it without glaring.
That is one of my favorite pieces to have. You know, something that I
toy,
do, a 3D figure. I'm like,
do you see that at all, Trox? Maybe we could put up.
I can't see it. Can you tell us what it is? Yeah, we can put up an image on the edit.
Yeah, that's Andy Astro, the mascot for Astronomicon. So you know,
that's amazing.
Like I had no idea when I was drawing it that it would be a toy, but
yeah, like 3 years later, it's a fucking vinyl figure, man, and a collectible piece in the Magic Ninja world.
Yeah. The only thing I wish they would have done different with the packaging is that the flag's in front of his face. So
completely agreed, dog. I said the same.
I know why they had to do that, and it was the factory that did it. But like if it was up to me, I would have had that not there, you know.
I completely agree because I display my shit sealed up like that. But that's all good. But that's on that Knuckleheads, the new Twisted or kind of MNE toy label. Are you behind all that shit as well? Are you?
I'm behind
the packaging.
Mainly the packaging of the actual Twisted figures, not the half pints. My buddy Tom Gonzalez does the half pints boxes.
Okay.
And he's out of Boston. He's Brain Dead Customs. His shit's awesome. So if you haven't heard of him,
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dope. And so he handles a lot of the stuff for AXE, and you know, him and 8 Legs tag team on the AXE stuff, and he works on a lot of that, like Astronomicon stuff, like promo and things, and the Knuckleheads half pints. But on the Knuckleheads Twisted full size figures, those I do the packaging for those. And I didn't
all on a display case right there, else I'd show them. I should have brought them out.
Did you get the new retail ones, the green ones?
Bro, that's the one I was like, they popped up on eBay. I'm like, I got 17 fucking versions of those same goddamn toys. Why don't I have the green ones? Like, where'd those come from?
the green ones are now a retail item that you can find in select stores. We put up an ad about them a couple weeks ago about where you can find them, but I know Rock of Ages here in Michigan has them.
I'm going to Angelo's. I bet they have them.
And a few stores across the country have them as well. So if you are looking for them, I can send you a flyer on where we have them right now.
Oh, I'm looking for them, so let's make that happen for sure. Yeah. Merch horror all day.
Because those are good, and there's more shit coming. I can't even tell
dog,
you.
I love the toys and like the shit like that kind of breaks out of the norm. It's dope. Yeah. Let's get the bobbleheads.
Did you see that?
I don't know what you guys are working on, but let's go.
At New York Comic Con, they just announced that they're doing the Funko Pops.
Yeah, boy.
And I'm a
big fan there.
Designed those as well.
So like, okay, there's some question I wouldn't have even thought to ask. So you don't like when they do that, they say, yeah, we'll do Twisted Toys, whoever the fuck you guys are. We have everything, but you design it. They don't do it, huh?
No, right. And they're going to do the box, but not the figures themselves. We went through a long drawn out process to actually get them right, to get Funko to be okay with what we had, but or not like we had originally designed the Freak Show Angel as a Funko Pop, and that was going to be what we tried to get done first, but it didn't go that way, and so
that would be dope as fuck.
We went through a couple renditions of Jamie and Paul individually that didn't make the cut either. And for a good reason, they weren't what they needed to be. And by the time we got what they approved and what we settled on, it looks just like Jamie and Paul, and I love it.
Okay,
they look
so
great.
Can you tell us? Does it come as a set with the two of them, or are they two individual pops?
Honestly, I have no idea.
I need it. I need it in my life. Like,
I know, and I'm not even sure when they're coming. Sometime next year.
Fuck yeah.
But I guess I'm allowed to talk about it because they already announced that they're doing them. So
and they actually put out a tweet today that said Insane E can say whatever he needs to on Scrub Hop Talk tonight. So like, spill the beans. Yeah, so you're saying you turned in a version for both, I assume, but they could potentially merge them if they wanted.
Yeah, they could. Well, no, they could put them into like a combo box if they really wanted to. But like, they're doing all the packaging and handling all the.
Dog. I cannot wait for that. And I don't even like Pops. I don't care about them, but I cannot wait for those.
Everyone in my house collects Pops.
I would say that if they go well enough, if people show the support behind them enough, then we'll be probably doing more. We have ideas for sets, and I'm
sure you guys are going to put the same thing out in 18 color varieties, so I'll at least buy 26 versions.
32 colors.
Yeah, seriously. And one of them smells like plastic, and the other one fucking looks like shit, but I'll buy them all. God damn it.
I'm one of those guys that bought a pop off of Monoxide on Instagram. So I'm fucking I'm with it.
That's so funny.
He collects what the collectors would want. So that's a good place to get them. You know, he's got he's one of the biggest fucking guys into Pops that I know. So but yeah, so
I had, we kind of talked a little bit about the fact that you also rap. We did talked about it a little bit, but I'm curious, like a chicken and egg kind of question. Which one came first? Did you start doing the art and started getting noticed from that, or were you rapping before you even did anything with the art? Like,
well, I always say I was born an artist. So like I was drawing and being an artist, selling. In fourth grade, I remember selling drawings of Mario Brothers and Mortal Kombat and Mega Man on little. I always had this pink paper because we weren't rich or anything, but we had what we had. I had a stack of pink paper for whatever reason. I drew Mortal Kombat and Mario Brothers and Mega Man on that shit. Sold that shit for like a quarter each or a nickel each. So I mean, I've been doing artwork since I was young. I learned to be
a professional artist since you were a child. I guess.
Right.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Still charging.
But as far as like selling Juggalo music and rapping versus the artwork.
Yeah. And then like so in 2004, I jumped into the music. I never thought I'd be a rapper, and I never thought that I would find myself where I'm at in that sense. But a couple of guys I used to hang out with in the Lisbon Juggalo crew that I grew up with, they were just working on music up in my homie's attic, and I was like, want to try. You know, I figured I'd give it a try. And a lot of our older music is very amateur, and I sucked at rapping for most of my life. So it's like I finally learned how to somewhat put a song together that's, you know, okay,
decently dope. Yeah.
Right. So you know, it formed from there. So I, you know, always an artist, became a rapper, trying to evolve into something. I don't know what yet.
I'm just glad that
it sounds to me like you were already rapping before the coloring books started. Before the coloring books still started.
Actually, they started around the same time, pretty much. You know,
did
like
all the lesbian juggalos help you do the comic book as well, or
the lesbian juggalos?
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear, so that's what I kept it on. You could say lesbian, that's fine.
I think they'd be okay with the lesbian.
Yeah, I assume so. What juggalo doesn't want to be a lesbian these days?
What was the? I'm sorry. What was the question?
I tend to do that a lot. My bad. But no, so that's dope, man. The rise of Insane E in the juggalo world has been crazy fresh, man. Like you're like the most probably known unknown dude because everyone knows your art, all these twisted covers, all the, you know, Joker card boxes and shit like that. And it's just in a way, it's like kind of fresh. You're living in the shadows, but
yeah, I still feel like
your shit.
I still feel like I'm pretty unnoticed for the most part, which is okay with me because I really dig my privacy a lot. You know, I don't want people up my house all the time. But I also really enjoy the love that I've been getting because I feel like I'm sure I have some haters out there, but I don't see them. They don't make themselves apparent. So I'm trying to just keep positivity rolling, keep everything you know, creatively flowing so that you know, I ultimately can provide everybody that's out there with something fresh, you know, hopefully. And I'm sure not everything I do is good to some people, and that's what it is. You know,
that's called artwork, man. That's how it is.
It's all in how you perceive it, you know, it's whatever. But I swear, you know, I put my heart and soul into every Twisted album design, every t-shirt design, you know, like I bleed that shit every fucking day of my life. So I hope that energy comes out of the product as well.
No, I'd say it does, man. We dig your shit. And my last note on all of this, not even a question, but comment. I think I love your Blaze. Like the work you do on Blaze projects for some reason to me stands out even more than Twisted. Like it's just, I like the look of the Blaze projects a lot. Like I can tell you really go crazy on them.
Yeah, and with each artist it's different, you know, because a lot of Blaze's work gives me I have no real direction. They're just they give me the title of the album and say run with it.
Yeah, and you do, and I can tell.
Casket Factory was a little different. Jamie had a vision for that one, and I, you know, worked with him on that.
Casket Maker is dope as fuck. That artwork is sick as fuck.
The cover art for Casket Maker was awesome. That's one of my favorite Blaze ones I did.
Graveyard Greats. That shit looked dope. Like I dig your work with that. So man, we appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah, you're welcome, homie.
Oh, it's been dope, man. I feel like we could talk for hours. You know?
Yeah, no doubt, man.
You're welcome on the show anytime. We loved having you. This has been great.
Much love.
Anytime man. You want to give some exclusives and, you know, or just spill beans that might get you fired, I'll send you the link. I'll have you on there. You know,
it's always
Scrubhop Talk needs a designer.
Jay was telling me, you know, obviously the last Riders album.
Oh yeah,
it had everyone like on there, but
it introduced
like
2,000 new riders in 3 songs.
And nobody was like clearly identified. You know what I mean? And I listened to that intro of Lil Shank reading like all the names mad quick. And to this day, I have no idea what he said. Could you tell us what your rider name was and tell us what your favorite song is on that record?
Well, the rider that I know, I'm not going to say is me.
Yes, I was just about to say, what are you trying to like incriminate this man? He's not a rider.
He's actually sleeping right now. He got drunk last night. His name is Quick Draw.
Quick Draw.
And he'll fucking pull up on you and dip out like before you even see him. So, you know, he's a fucking ninja. But
we gotta play that track and listen to ourselves some Quick Draw.
I'm gonna be a rider. That's the track that Quick Draw is on. And, also on the re-release, he's on the last song, Drop 'Em. In between Sawed Off and Lil Shank.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Two guys also maybe sleeping at your house. I don't want to ask questions. Never mind. I don't want to get stabbed.
No, those guys aren't sleeping here. They're sleeping somewhere else. I don't know.
Can't give away addresses. Hell yeah, y'all. Insane E, we appreciate you taking out some time. We wish you super luck and just success in your career, brother. And yeah, we appreciate you. We're gonna go out to that I'ma Be a Rider from the Riders. Right here on Scrub Hop Talk, guys. We'll be right back after this.